Hello everyone. In my last video of this playlist, qualitative and quantitative seismic interpretation, I talked about various quantitative seismic interpretation techniques like post-earth analysis that includes bright spot and dim spots and other DHIs, AVO analysis, acoustic and elastic impedance inversion, and seismic forward modeling. Today, I will discuss one of these quantitative seismic interpretation techniques, that is post-earth analysis. I mean different direct hydrocarbon indicators during post-earth analysis. Remember, as I talked earlier video of this playlist, that rock physics is a science behind quantitative seismic interpretation. Therefore, without knowing the basic knowledge and concepts of rock physics, we can't understand quantitative seismic interpretation techniques and how these methods work. For that, I have already started a separate series under the title Playlist Rock Physics as a tool for quantitative seismic reservoir characterization. I will also recommend watching all those rock physics e-lectures as well. Today's e-lecture is about different direct hydrocarbon indicators, DHIs, for example, bright spot, dim spot, flat spot, phase change, gas chimneys, etc., and pitfalls regarding these DHIs. Here we go. First, what is direct hydrocarbon indicator? It is also called hydrocarbon indicator HCI. It can be defined as an anomalous type of seismic amplitude that may occur due to the presence of hydrocarbons in oil and gas reservoirs. Before talking about bright spot, dim spots, and other DHIs, first we should have an insight into acoustic impedance depth trend. At shallower depth, hydrocarbon sands, especially gas sand, have low impedance as compared to water sand and upper shale. It is because the presence of light oil or gas in a porous and permeable media reduces seismic velocity and density, and resultantly high difference in impedance with above shale outcomes into high negative amplitudes, possible bright spot anomaly. As depth increases, sand becomes more compact and there may be a phase reversal when sand's impedance has high values as compared to upper shale. The dim spots are possible at high depth where the impedances of cap rock and reservoir zones are much like each other. The next is bright spot. The first use of amplitude information as hydrocarbon indicators was in the early 1970s when it was found that bright spot amplitude anomalies could be associated with hydrocarbon traps. This, this discovery increased interest in the physical properties of rocks and how amplitudes changed with different type of rocks and pore fluids as reported by many geophysicists. Sorry. A bright spot is defined as a local high amplitude seismic attribute anomaly that can indicate the presence of hydrocarbons and is therefore known as direct hydrocarbon indicator. In a relatively soft sand, the presence of gas and or a light oil will increase the compressibility or will decrease bulk modulus of rock dramatically. The velocity will drop accordingly and the amplitude will decrease to a negative bright spot. The bright spot anomaly is shown on real seismic data in the figure presented on left hand side. However, if the sand is relatively hard as compared to cap rock, the sand saturated with brine may induce a bright spot anomaly, while a gas-filled sand may be transparent, causing so-called dim spot that is a very weak reflector. It is very important before starting to interpret seismic data to find out what change in amplitude we expect for different pore fluids and whether hydrocarbon will cause a relative dimming or a brightening as compared to the brine saturation. That's why the most important seismic property of a reservoir is whether it is a bright spot regime or dim spot regime. During seismic exploration of oil and gas reserves, bright spots are usually first choice of DHIs we look for. But in many cases, when bright spots anomalies were drilled, they mislead the exploration team. Some common false bright spot anomalies are also called pitfalls include volcanic intrusion and volcanic ash layers, highly cemented sand, often calcite cement in thick pinch out zones, low porosity, heterolithic sands, overpressured sands or shales, coal beds, top of salt diapirs. Only last three of above list will cause the same polarity as gas sand, and the first three will cause hard kicks amplitude. Therefore, if we know the polarity of seismic data, we can be able to discriminate between bright spots due to hydrocarbons with hard kick or hard events. I have already I have already a little bit discussed I have already included a little bit discussion about dim spots during bright spot discussions. Dim spot can be defined as a local low amplitude seismic attribute anomaly that can indicate the presence of hydrocarbons and is therefore known as direct hydrocarbon indicator. Dim spots are caused by highly consolidated sands with a much greater acoustic impedance than the overlying shale. Adding hydrocarbons to the pore spaces may cause the velocity and density of a sandstone to decrease. However, it would not decrease enough to reverse the polarity of a reflection coefficient. The hydrocarbon reduce the acoustic impedance and the reflection coefficient, thus it produces a dim spot. The next is flat spot. Flat spots represents a reflective boundary between different geofluids. For example, gas oil, gas water, oil water contacts. Flat spots may easily be detected where the background stratigraphy is tilted so that flat spots may be stitched out. I mean, fluid contact will be apparently flat in tilted stratigraphy. In case of flat stratigraphy, it will be difficult to discover flat spots. In that case, other quantitative methods like AVO analysis can help to discriminate fluid-related anomalies from the background geology or flat lithostratigraphy. Seismic resolution is important for flat spot identification on seismic section. The hydrocarbon reservoir must be thicker than the vertical resolution in order to represent flat spots. Pitfalls, false flat spots. One of the best DHIs to look for is flat spot, contact between fluids. However, there are many other causes that give rise to flat spots, and we must be aware of that. Ocean bottom multiples, flat stratigraphy, the bases of sand loops especially tend to be flat, opal A to opal CT, diagenetic boundary, the reflection from transform boundary of opal A to opal CT, volcanic sills. Sill is a geological term that intruded between older layers of sedimentary rock. Paleocontacts, either related to diagenetic or residual hydrocarbon saturations, might be false flat spot anomalies. The next DHI is phase change. The direct hydrocarbon indicator is phase change or phase reversal. There are many possibilities for the occurrence of phase reversal. It occurs when the overlying reservoir has low velocity of the reservoir rock. It can also occur when a partially consolidated sand become wet. This causes the acoustic impedance to become slightly higher than the overlying shale. Similarly, The top of the sand correlates to the weak positive reflection coefficients. As hydrocarbons are added to pore spaces, the velocity and density of the sandstone decrease, which may result in a decrease of acoustic impedance to the point where it's slightly less than the overlying shale. The reflection at the top then changes phase, changing from a peak to weak trough, which can be seen in the figure given on left hand side. Identifying phase changes can be a challenging task. The next is gas chimneys. Gas chimneys can also be used as direct hydrocarbon indicator. A subsurface leakage of a gas from a poorly sealed hydrocarbon accumulations, which is usually along a fault plane. It usually results in a gas bearing clouds, and we can see gas bearing clouds in the figure on left hand side, the encircled area in the figure. In seismic data, gas chimneys are frequently observed as areas of poor quality data or sags or pushdowns. Please see again encircled areas in the figure. We can easily find poor quality data, pushdowns, etc. Gas chimneys can cause high difficulties in structural mapping in, in depth accurately because it becomes hard to map structures in that zone, maybe due to seismic waves attenuation. These saturations often don't have any economical value. However, they are helpful to find possible leak traps below. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. I hope to see you again with more helpful videos in future. Take care. Bye bye.